StiltzkinKupo84, coming to you from Cat Fan Gamer TV. This is Final Fantasy IX, my personal favorite Final Fantasy, the first Final Fantasy that I ever played. Those two do kind of go together, but just because it's the first one I played does not mean it's going to be my favorite necessarily. I feel justified in my reasons for having this be my favorite Final Fantasy. Among those reasons, the characterization is super strong, more than, say, like some of the other Final Fantasies. The world is so bright and vibrant and varied. The music, the soundtrack is just incredible. I would have never even played this game, or in fact any Final Fantasy in the series, if it wasn't for my good buddy John. I was in high school and we were in class. We were talking together about how we both liked Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and then we started talking about Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. And in particular, I had mentioned something about the QLX boss battle that happens in Monstro Town, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's a Square thing." And I'm like, "What do you mean Square thing?" He's like, "Bro, if you haven't entered the world of Square, then I have something for you." Now, the game he was about to give me, he was telling me was Final Fantasy VII, his personal favorite in the series. And then when I went to go borrow a Final Fantasy from him, because it was the beginning of the summer, he handed me Final Fantasy IX, and I'm like, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh, this will be easier for you because it's not as complex." And he's like, well, it boiled down to he got nostalgic and he kind of wanted to play Final Fantasy VII once more before letting me borrow it. So, but I am actually grateful to have been able to start with Final Fantasy IX because the design is simplistic. The way you level up your abilities and stuff, it's a lot less complicated than, say, Final Fantasy VII or 8 or even arguably 10. So this is probably the easiest game in the series to start with, especially if you're out there, you've never played a Final Fantasy. I would say start with this one. If you have played Final Fantasies and you have like kids and they've never played, but you want to get them into RPGs, I would say start them off on this one. You're gonna notice as I go through here, I just have a geographic, pictorial memory of where certain things are to pick up or interact with in the world here. I can't even, if I had to write down and make a list, I couldn't even really tell you all of the things that I know to look for when I'm in the screen, but when I get in there, I just know to look for them. So if I ever do miss something, it's probably just because I forgot in that moment, but I pretty much know it's there. I still appreciate if you guys want to say, "Oh, hey, you missed that thing over there." Well, yeah, I probably did, and the chances are I knew about it at some point, but I've been playing over and over and over again for, ever since 2001, so I've pretty much done everything there is to do one time in the game, even if I haven't done it all on the same continuous game. But, yeah, so we're going to do a boss battle here. And the thing with boss battles in Final Fantasy IX, I always try to steal everything first. It's really easy in this fight because you have 4 thieves, and so everybody can steal. I'm pretty sure, actually, we just stole everything there was. Yep, doesn't have anything. So, I'm just going to go ahead and wail on them now. There's a couple fights in this game that will end after a certain short amount of turns, and so those games are really hard to steal everything from. I'm still going to try to do it. for the purposes of this playthrough, and really any playthrough that I do in Final Fantasy IX. Some of the Beatrix fights, you know, I might give up and not get the cool armor or whatever, or the weapon or whatever it was, but normally I will just keep restarting, redoing the fight till I can get a save file with the steel items on it. So Baku just had a go at us here. I mean, he won the fight, but we're all tired. Go figure. I mean, yeah. So we won the fight. He lost, but he's the one laughing. So the plan here is Tantalus, the infamous band of daring thieves, is going to head to the kingdom of Alexandria to kidnap the heir to the throne, Princess Garnet. So they're going to dock in Alexandria, and they're going to put on a play, which to me was actually something I was familiar with. I had been in drama club, and I had been in choir in high school. So this was sort of just right up my alley. It's probably another piece of charm that, you know, makes me specifically like this game over other Final Fantasy games. It's theater and liberal arts skewed. The Oglot there, sort of like the in-universe cockroach of Final Fantasy IX. So here's a chance where your choice really does matter. Because if you give the wrong one, what am I saying? Now you can do this over and over again. There's no real reason to do this over and over again besides just to be obstinate and annoying. Alright, quit joking around. Now at this point you can keep picking the wrong answer. And if you keep doing it over and over again, just like somewhere in the tens or hundreds of times, your only female member of the Tantalus troop will come in and scold you for holding up the show, and it's a neat little bonus moment that you get. But I'm not going to sit through that with you guys, because that would make the video boring. So feel free to go ahead with that on your own time. It's a really funny little Easter egg. So, yeah, basically, this game spoke to me in a way that no other game I had played before did. I actually had a chance to play Final Fantasy IV on Super Nintendo. It was at a babysitter's house. I was so young. She would rent games, and so we had a rented copy that we were playing for, like, you know, a couple of days or whatever. We started from the beginning, and I remember Cecil in the castle, and I remember meeting and talking to Rosa and you know, Sid. But I went off to school, and of course she stayed at home and played, and she was like, yeah, you know, I don't really like this game. We went through the save file to you know, the person who had played it before us, and whoever had rented it had gotten, like, right before the end boss. So there was, like, we were in the crystal world where all the super bosses were, and we were under leveled, and we couldn't you know, Bahamut was the only thing, Bahamut or Odin, I think, was the only thing that was hurting anything down in the crystal world, and we didn't have the MP we needed. So that was my first experience with a Final Fantasy, and the graphics in that era were not quite up to par with this. And I wasn't old enough yet to really understand what was going on. So this is my first real legit crack at a Final Fantasy, and I'm thankful to my buddy John for, you know, letting me borrow it back in the day, because this has been decades now of fun for me. So a cute little girl just gave us a ticket. And again, I'm going to be able to pretty much go all around here. That's not even a pickup, that's just a pattern. He fell on. So, I'm pretty much going to just be finding stuff. So we're picking up cards. It's a card game in Final Fantasy IX, and just for the playing of the game itself, I find it actually funner than the card game from Final Fantasy VIII. The Final Fantasy VIII card game had a bunch of rules that would change based on what era you're in, and you know, now that I know how to manipulate that, it's more manageable. But at the time, I didn't know anything about how to manipulate it, so I was just at the mercy of all the changing rules, and so I really hated Final Fantasy IX's card game for a long time. But the difference is, in Final Fantasy VIII, the card game, you can get an ability that lets you synthesize cards into items. So that game actually matters. That mini game matters to the whole game. In Final Fantasy IX, that's not the case, because you don't get any items from any of your cards. So it's just kind of a, well, do I want this one card trophy or what? So, alright, Rat Kid, get out of my way. That Rat Kid is very impolite. But he's going to be important here in a minute. So let's see. Okay, so this guy will play cards with you because he's got that exclamation point in the card thing going. That's a difference from PS1. Also, there's been a graphical update from the PS1 version that I'm used to. I'm going to change my cursor to memory. And I'm going to change my movement to run, because I hate having to hold down the cancel button. All this is good. I don't really want to kill my battery on my controller, so I'm going to leave the vibration off. But yeah, so we got the ticket from the girl, and Honorable Noble of Trino. Alexandria Castle is this way. So we got the ticket from the girl, and then the rat boy ran into us. Had something really rude to say. You have to wonder, did he mean to run into us? I mean, is there a possibility that we had a real ticket and then somehow we were slipped a fake ticket? Playing this game multiple times, you become a little more cynical of everything that has just a hint of a negative undertone. It's very likely that Puck had a forged ticket. He switched with us, even though, well, I guess the narrative doesn't support it, as you'll see here in a minute. Because you know, if his goal was to slip us a fake ticket to get our real ticket, then I suppose he would just walk right in the front door of the show with his regular ticket and not have to worry about us. Oop. So here's our first shop, and we don't really have to buy anything. I'm just in here for the gil on the floor. Who puts just gil on the floor? Who just leaves money on the floor? And that's another thing. When I was starting to play this game, I had been used to like gold or like a $sign. There's none of that in here. Their currency is called gil, and it's been that way since Final Fantasy IV. I believe the character was Gilbert, was the bard, and he was a prince also. And here are the three Magus sisters. They're 3 heroes, knights of Pluto, statues built to commemorate the knights who fought bravely. But if you look, it looks like the Mega Sisters, which would be a callback out to, again, 4, I think. Final Fantasy 4 was where they appeared, if I'm not mistaken. This game came out during a point in time when people generally were just starting to turn to the online forums and stuff for FAQs on GameFAQs, and I benefited a lot from the Excalibur 2 Perfect Game guide from Atomos199. Maybe not on my first playthrough, because on my first playthrough I was still very much going off of the book, and I was buying game guides for every game. I still do buy game guides for every Final Fantasy, just because I like the convenience of not having to power up a search engine to go find what I want. What do you mean there's no vacancies? Anytime you travel anywhere, right? I have a reservation. So that's just giving us a clue of how busy the town is. I always thought there was a secret back here. I was sure of it, but there's not. I mean, it was pretty obvious from the first time I played. You can run back there for 10 minutes straight, nothing will happen. So let's see, there's these little girls here. They're playing a jump rope game, and of course this is a really cool way to spend some time, but obviously I suck at it. It's a really early game way to get some cards unlocked that are super powerful in the game of cards, which again doesn't give you items, so it doesn't really matter to the rest of the whole of the game. But I think the highest card that I ever got from there was the ribbon card. I got that once, or maybe there was a Genji something. But those would have been the highest cards that I would have gotten. I think there was a Tiger Racket card or something. She's in here, but you can actually push past her. No, well, you should be able to push past her. You were in the PlayStation 1 version. But I'm going to go ahead and fake her out. I believe, yep, you can get her to run out. Yep. Now I'm gonna go steal your stuff. 3 gil. Guess that wasn't as worth it as I thought. Anyhow, we're gonna go into these church buildings here. All the city buildings one by one. But yeah, this game came out when they were trying to get everybody to go online to look at FAQs and stuff, and you can tell based on the book, I mean, there's no real answers in the book to the kinds of Easter egg things. Now remember we talked to that hippo kid, and he was talking about his cards that he had hidden somewhere? Bingo. Pull the rope, the box drops. Iron Act card, Goblin card, Fang card. If you don't get this at this point in the game, then you have to come back like way later. And those cards don't mean anything right now to begin with because they're really weak, but they mean significantly more now that we don't have very many of them than they would later in the game. So yeah, the Final Fantasy game guide, the Brady guide, is notoriously bad. It just tells you to go to whatever.com to find the answer for this stuff, and it frustrated me greatly at the time. The newfangled mist-powered ships float through the air, but true ships are supposed to float on water, right, Shun? Now, what if he was a Hypello? Like, Men in Black style, just sort of posing as a human. Definitely possible. My kitten Mittens ran away. Tell me if you see him, okay? Alright, we're gonna go get his kitten Mittens. And this cat, I had such a hard time finding this thing. I'm telling you, I didn't know. There's a hint in the Brady's Guide, and of course it says go to whatever.com to find the answer. The hint is nowhere near helpful enough to be able to tell you what's going on, so I had to wait till I saw a playthrough of the game online. Somebody showed me. We started here. This is where we got knocked down and the girl gave us back our ticket. Well, there's another screen back here. And wouldn't you know it, there's a cat. Yeah, we found him. Oh yeah, we found a cat. You're welcome. So, this screen you will visit at some point in the game regardless, but if you hadn't done the kitten thing, then you wouldn't really know about it until much later. The second time you come to Alexandria. There's one on that porch up there. It's a Hodgin card. So these people are from Trino here. These are, ooh, a potion. Matter of fact, I think I missed that one in the first recording. I recorded this first episode and I watched it back and I found out that I had game audio but no voice audio. So this is actually a second take of episode 1 for me. And in real time it's taking place after the recording of episode 2 and 3. And actually 4. But I'm going to have to redo 4 as well because my voice wasn't really loud enough for that one either, so sound issues are really quite a pain. Now this bird lady here from Trino, she's actually going to be involved in a quest later for some key items called StiltzkinKupo84. It's just little things like that you wouldn't know, you wouldn't know about when you're first playing. But it's cool to have a wider knowledge of the game when you play through a second or third or, geez, how many times am I at now playing this game? But a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in the town of Alexandria, a lot of these side quests wouldn't be available to you if you went to the exact spot they wanted you to go to at first, which is the ticket booth. If you peek your head inside the ticket booth, then you start some events that happen in that alleyway that prevent a lot of this. So, we're getting extra cards from it, and that's cool. But now I believe I've got everything that was in here, so we're gonna go ahead and stick our heads in that ticket booth. Alright. Can I help you, son? What's showing today? Masterpiece, I want to be a canary. The Tantalus Company is performing. What kind of troupe is Tantalus? They're star performers from Lindblom, the Regency to the west, with accompanied by Lavladers. And I commented that on the last time that I read this, that I didn't realize that musical band had a name ascribed to it. That's kind of funny. There's a lot of just random stuff as far as the lore of the world that's just tucked in here. Queen Brain. Did you know Queen Brain has a beautiful daughter, Princess Garnet? Well, she's got a beautiful daughter, huh? Today is Princess Garnet's 16th birthday, you know. Her Highness is a beautiful princess, and everyone in Alexandria loves her. Is Garnet really that pretty? Why, she's the most beautiful princess in the history of Alexandria. Huh. What do you think that tells us about her mother, Queen Brain? Unfortunately, I've heard strange things about Queen Brain recently. Huh. So she's acting strange, and she's not as pretty as her daughter. I've made some key observations. Oh, it's another fake. I've seen so many today. Dude, if I was this guy, I'd be telling that to every little kid. Because I'm just mean like that. I know how you feel. No, you don't, man. We're poor. You want? Oh, so you're giving us Pokemon cards to make us feel better that we can't get to the play that we paid money for. Actually, did we pay money for these? It's kind of unclear where we got the ticket from, but anyhow. Talk to Alleyway Jack to learn more about the cards. Good luck, lad. Well, get some cards, and now I guess I'll just go this way. Oh, klutz. I've drawn some inferences about the queen, though. She's acting a little weird, and she's not quite as good looking as her princess daughter. Those of you who played the game before know how much of an understatement both of those things are. Oh, here's that rude rat boy. Hey, you shrimp, you're the one with the phony ticket, ain't you? Now, how does he know that? That's what I'm saying. Maybe he planted it, but are you Alleyway Jack? Do I look like that loser? But I'll let you in to see the show if you become my slave. Small black kid. No, I don't want to be your slave. Okay, later. But as much as we hate it, we have nowhere else to go. So we're pretty much gonna have to. Now for your first assignment. Gotta stand over there and see if anyone's coming. Sucks. Nah, it's clear. Engage according to mission parameters. You never gave us any. Now he's not Alleyway Jack, but this is. And you have to keep mashing the X button here. Because if you don't talk to him, he'll just get some of your money and run away. Excuse me, but is your name Alleyway Jack? How did you know my name? Well, if you know who I am, you'd probably want to challenge me to a card game, huh? What? You don't know how to play and you want me to teach you? Well, why not? Finished one job already. Follow me, kid. So let's see. Let's start with the basics. You need 5 cards, yada yada yada. Approach someone and press square. Yep, some people aren't interested. And I actually know all this stuff. But, we have to go through these points of, you know, these teaching points in order to get to play a game of cards with him. So I'm just going through all this dialogue. If you play this game and, you know, you decide you want to get good at the card game, you can read all this menu stuff. basically you can flip cards to your opponent's cards to make them your color, and if you flip them, then sometimes their arrows will let you flip the cards that they're next to, and then if you win if you get a majority of the cards. If you get all of the cards, that's a perfect game. And so, like, normally you would just be able to pick one card from your opponent's hand that you had captured before, but when you get a perfect game, then you get to get all of the cards that were in your opponent's hand before. Wow, okay, so we got Fang card here. That's a good card with lots of arrows. We don't have, well, we do have a magic card. Okay, so we'll get this Fang card. One physical, we got a magical, a one magical. We want this goblin card because that's X. Magical is magical damage and physical is physical damage, and X is either one. So it will attack the lowest defense, and the two defense values are the numbers on the back of that 4-digit thing. So basically your attack value is the first one. So in the top right corner, that Sahajin card has a 1 attack value instead of a 0. That's our strongest attack that we have so far. But it's physical damage, and then those two defense values are obviously our defense values. I'm thinking it would be really good to just have a whole bunch of arrows, but I need this Flan card because we don't have any arrows on the top right corner of any of other cards, and plus the magical damage, which we're lacking at this point. So let's see. We could take it with this. We have to fight our card. Ooh, that's not good either. Somebody fought our card and won. Oh yeah, we got a combo. Alright, well I'm not sure. Well, now we can't get a perfect, that's for sure. We've lost our perfect. Okay, but we are using the card very weak. So now we can control the weak card to gain control of other cards. And then I'm going to go ahead and win. So sometimes you want to have like one weak card in your hand because it'll allow you to, leverage that weak card to gain other cards. We have a Lizard Man, we have a Skeleton, so I'll just pick a Zangal because it's a new card. Nah, we won't do any rematches. I think I understand. It's the only time where I'm called Alleyway Jack. I go by other names elsewhere. They're also just aliases, of course. You want to know my real name? I'll tell you when you get better. Now what that alludes to is you can find in the game, which I've been finding in this playthrough. If you find a whole bunch of treasures, you'll raise your treasure rank. It's sort of a hidden stat, but you can check it way late in the game when you go to a town called Baguario. And, when you get to rank S, you'll figure out what that man's real name is. He's got 4 arms. So the 4-armed man, otherwise known as Alleyway Jack, we still don't know his real name yet. It's very dangerous. You go first. Oh no, please. You go first. Here's a Moogle. I immediately loved this character when I first saw one. I recognized it from the Final Fantasy commercials that I saw during my morning cartoons when I was getting ready for school. But I didn't realize what Kupo was, that Kupo was a thing they say all the time. It's sort of like their version of dude. Sorry, I enter you in Moogle Diary. If you want to save the game, just ask us Moogles, Kupo. And you can regain health if you have a tent, Kupo. I understand. Glad I can help, Kupo. So I really didn't understand that Kupo was just a substitution, like when Smurfs say Smurf. So yeah, I mean, that's their thing they say. As a race, and there's some weird race mechanics in this game. I'll say that because in most Final Fantasy games and RPG games in general, your class is independent of your race. But Vivi is a black mage, and that is also his race. So Final Fantasy IX is an exception. What do we have here? Well, who do we have but Stiltzkin, my namesake? Kupo, Stiltzkin, why that get up? You leaving, Kupo? Now, I've never seen Stiltzkin wear any other get up than this, so that speaks to the fact that he is on a pilgrimage basically this entire game. So, we don't know what Stiltzkin dresses like when he's not on an adventure. He's just an adventuring kind of guy. And that's why I chose StiltzkinKupo84 as my screen name. Yeah, this time I might be away for a long time. I'll miss you, Kupo. Nah, don't worry, alright. Okay. Well, I'm off. Take care. Say hi to Mosh in the castle for me. So we'll be seeing Stiltzkin. Kupo. He's a very special one, Kupo. Now, the Moogle we were talking to, he's so rude. I thought I ordered you up here, slave. The Moogle that we're talking to, his name is Kupo. So that would be like somebody being called dude. Like your name is dude, and you're gonna call people dude. So here's the Mognet tutorial. Basically, you get letters from Moogles to deliver to other Moogles, and sometimes you just get letters addressed to you from other Moogles. Yeah, I'll help you. Okay, let's take on this favor. I always ask him a couple of different times, because you never know. There might be a script for a letter that you received, or a script for something else. We're going to have a new save data here. So, yeah, so there might be a letter for you, or a letter that they want you to deliver that's hidden behind another script, so I asked the Moogle about Mognet a bunch of times every time I see it. Alright, the play is going to start if we don't hurry. Sometimes the Mog mail that you'll get will not show up until after a cinematic event has happened, and so you'll first get there, there'll be nothing for you, and then after the cinematic event, you'll be able to catch the mail right before you leave the area. Let me guess, you're afraid of heights, aren't you? It's okay, just pretend you're on the ground. Oh, you know what? I think I just remembered that we're coming in on episode 2 territory. So I think this is the start of episode 2. I'm not gonna redo this gameplay for you, but This is a cool joke. Don't worry, it won't fall. That darn fool rat kid. So yeah, I began streaming because it was something my daughter wanted to do. She was streaming before we even knew how to stream. When we were playing Minecraft, she would just say, you know, like and subscribe, and she'd be telling her viewers to do this, and she didn't have any viewers. It's really cute. So me and my wife just decided to learn how to stream in order to, you know, help her fulfill her dreams. Of course, I've had dreams revolving around Final Fantasy IX ever since I started playing in 2001. I used to fantasize about writing guides, player's guides for this to help people with the game. And, you know, so streaming Final Fantasy IX is another dream come true for me. But really, this is my daughter Catherine's channel. So if you want to, hit like, hit subscribe, help her get more popular. I'm all about, you know, empowering my daughter to succeed in the world. So go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on this stream at the start of video 2. This has been StiltzkinKupo84 with Cat and Fam Gamer TV, signing out. Peace.